Just reminding everyone, when you join the sessions, please mute your microphones. Kindly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And when our pit is ready, feel free to share. There you are. We can see your screen now. That's fantastic.
All right, guys. So thank you so much, Raz. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in today. And today I'm going to present two sessions, back-to-back two sessions. I'm going to present. The one is the collaborative development in the Canvas app, and the second topic I'm going to cover is how to work on the custom connectors in the PowerApps. All right. So let's begin with my first, the session, how to do the collaborative work in the PowerApps. So before getting into the session, I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Arpish Srivastava, and I am a Microsoft certified trainer and a Power Platform architect working in Capgemini, India. I'm recently been announced as an India Dynamics 365 group leader, and I am the Power Community Ambassador as well. I have been writing, a lot of interesting stuff on my blog since 2014. I've been speaking, and from last 2-3 years associated with the Power Community, and I'm a certified trainer as well. So if you want to get in touch with me after this session or during the session, you can follow me on the Twitter or on my YouTube channel. So I've recently started the Power Guide Zero to Hero mentorship program, where we started uploading the videos on the Canvas app from beginners to advanced level. So if you haven't seen my videos yet, you go and watch them, these videos. So these videos are very helpful for the beginners who are actually looking for starting their career in the Power Apps or the Power Platform. All right, so you can check my blog as well to see all the interesting stuff or interesting plug and play solution that I've designed using Power Portals, the Power Apps or the Power Automate. Okay. And I've been awarded as a top 100 CRM blogs, and this year I've been awarded with the Power Community Ambassador 2020 award as well. And thanks for Ras for this. Thank you. All right, so let's begin with the today's agenda. Today I'm gonna discuss about the collaborative development in the Canvas app. Okay, so during this session I'm gonna discuss about the components in the Canvas app. So what are the components? What are the component library in the Power Apps? Okay, then we're gonna discuss about the difference between components and the component library. We will discuss about how to plan the Canvas app development. So we already discussed some best practices related to the Canvas app in the last session. Now we have to discuss about how we can, the plan for our Canvas app development. And surely we're gonna have a demo of how we can use the component and how we can, Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Hi, we can hear you now.
All right, all right. All right, so what is the collaborative development in the model-driven app? Okay, so so we have been working in the Dynamics 365 or in the model-driven app since it has been introduced by the Microsoft. So we already know that what is the meaning of collaborative development. So collaborative development means when the multiple developers are working simultaneously on a particular feature or designing the app or the Dynamics. So if I take the example.
Hi, Arpit, your sound keeps on cutting off. I think your microphone is
the one developer can work on. Okay, is that the issue?
Yeah, we can see you.
Hello?
We can hear you now. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah.
All right, so I was discussing about the collaborative development in the model-driven app. So we already know, we have been working the Dynamics 365 and the model-driven app, and we know that when the multiple developers simultaneously work on a single app or the Dynamics 365 component, then we call it as a collaborative development. So we usually know that in the model-driven app, we have an option that one developer can work on the plugin, one can work on the workflow, one can work on the the forms, and one can work on the dashboards and the reporting part, right? So this is the way how the multiple developers can work simultaneously in the model-driven app. But have you imagined, like, is there any features available in the Canvas app when where the multiple developers can work on the Canvas app as well? So that feature was not there with the Canvas app till now, but in the recent release of the Microsoft had introduced a new features called the component and the component library. So using that feature, the multiple developers can simultaneously work on the Canvas app as well. All right, and we call it as a component. So for example, in the Canvas app, one app developer can work on the component 1, the other is one on the component 2, another is 4, and like that. So multiple developers can contribute to design the Canvas app. Now, how it is possible in the Canvas app? So the feature that the Microsoft has recently introduced, so I would like to highlight here that feature is currently in the preview mode. So you're not allowed to use on the production environments, but on the development in the testing environment, you can start exploring that feature. So what is component in the Canvas app? So as the name is suggesting or the representing, the components are like the reusable building blocks, all right, for the Canvas app, so that the app makers can create the components to use inside or outside an app. Okay, so it's simple, like, when you create a Canvas app, there are already out of box components or controls are available for you, like text box, like buttons, like icons. So these are the out of box components are already available with you, and you can change the property of these components as well. Now, the components can also use the advanced features such as custom properties and enable complex capabilities as well. So if you have been working in the Canvas app, you have seen that each control available in the Canvas apps has some properties. Like, for example, if I talk about the text box, so the text box has some properties like background color, the border color, right? So these are the properties are there in the Canvas app. So same like way, if you are designing your components, you can create your custom properties as well, and you can allow user that they can simply pass the input parameters and can get the output parameters using that components. All right. Third thing is that the component are useful to build the larger apps that have a similar control pattern. So for example, in your organization, if you are building your multiple Canvas app, they are actually following the same UI guidelines, same the UI structure. So that in that case, you can simply design a component as a reusable building blocks, and you can reuse that components inside the multiple Canvas app. So you don't need to design the same sort of components in the multiple apps. You can simply design the component and you can reuse it inside the multiple Canvas app. Okay. Now, components also reduce the duplication of the efforts as well. So, for example, if I take a very common example of header and the footer. So, in any mobile app, you design the header and the footer, which is basically same across all the screen in the Canvas app. All right. So if I'm not using the control, so if I have the 25 or the 30 screens available in my Canvas app, every time on the each screen I have to design the header and the footer again and again. So it will obviously increase the effort, and it will always increase the number of controls available on my app. So definitely it will decrease the it will degrade the performance of my Canvas app. But by using the components, you can simply create the reusable components of the most used features or the controls available in your app, and you can improve the your Canvas app performance. And the last one is the components can also help to create the collaborative development and the standardized look and feel as well. So that I already discussed. If you are designing a multiple Canvas app for your organization, it helps you to maintain the the same or the standardized look and feel using these components. All right. Now, what is the difference between component and the component library? So when I will show you the demonstration, I will let you know that what is the basic difference between the component and component library. But meanwhile, the basic difference between the component and component library is like that. The component is basically used to inside an app only. So the basic difference is between the component and the component library is based on the scope. Okay, so the component can only be used for a particular app only, but if you want to create the component to the multiple Canvas app, then you have to create the component library. All right, so as you can see in the figure that this is the app developer who is developing a component for a single Canvas app. So this is the component, and these are the multiple developers working on a Canvas app, and these components can be used on the multiple Canvas app as well. So this is called a component library. So Microsoft always recommend to use the component library because it allows the multiple developers can work independently in the Canvas app, and they can simply import the components in the multiple Canvas app as well. The second main difference between is the alerts and the updates. So for example, if I'm working in the component, if you made any update in the component definition and inside the particular app, so all the instances in the app reflect your changes. For example, if you are designing a header and the footer control inside a particular app, so you are designing a component, all right. So if you're making any changes in the header control or the footer control, so wherever you are using this header and footer in your app, it will automatically reflect the changes. It will not notify you that someone has made the changes in the control. But if you are working in the component library, so component library is basically used by the multiple developers simultaneously. So if any of the developer has made some changes in their component, being a app owner, I should be able to notify that someone has made their changes in their component. So component library will give you the notification that component library updates are available. So do you want to merge the latest changes in your Canvas app? So this is the basic difference between the component and the component library. Now, so let's understand what is the need of component or the component library from a business requirement. All right. So let's say I'm working with a client and that client wants to the client wants me to create a Canvas app, and that Canvas app should have these 5 screens available. So they want to have the login screen, the header and footer screen, the gallery screen, message control, and the loader control. So these 5 screens my client wants to design inside the Canvas app. Now, being an app owner, my first requirement or my first the process in the development is I need to analyze the requirement. So once I get the requirement from the client, being an app owner, I need to decide that which of the component inside my Canvas app can be made reusable. All right, because it's up to you. You can yourself design the whole Canvas app, and you can smartly distribute your work among multiple app developers so that you can quickly design your Canvas app. So for example, if I am the app owner, if I get the requirement to design the 5 screen, I can simply distinguish, like the header and footer and the gallery screen. So these two components is dedicatedly I'm designing for a particular Canvas app. It cannot be reused in multiple Canvas app. So I'm calling it as a generic components. All right. And these two screens, like loader screen and the success screen, can be designed for the multiple Canvas app, because success screen, or to show the success message, the failure message, or the warning messages. So these kind of message control or the loader control can be used in the multiple Canvas app, because it's a very basic feature that any Canvas app looks for, right? So I'm considering as a shared component. So generic component, that is I'm specifically making for the app only, and the shared component I can be created and reused across the multiple apps. Okay. So, but I have to design the 4 components, but these 2 components as a generic and these 2 components as a shared component. Now, if I am not designing the Canvas app using the component based development, so if I'm designing the Canvas app without using component based development, then the single app developer has to design all the 5 screen, like so without using this component based development feature, we used to design all the the features, all the screens inside the Canvas app by ourselves, right? Now if I'm using the component based development, then how it helps to the distribute the work. So if I'm using the component based development, the one developer can design the header and footer, the one developer can design the loader control, one app developer can design the message control, and another one can design the gallery control. So they all the 4 app developers will work separately on their own component, and there will be one master owner who will be responsible to merge all these component in the master app. All right. So like the way we work in the .NET code or in the Dynamic 365 code, we have the master branch, and in that master branch, we actually create the multiple sub branches where all the developer works. And once they are done with their work, we just merge the changes to the master branch. So in the same way, it actually works in the Canvas app as well. All right. So at last, I just wanted to discuss before getting into the demonstration part, that how we can plan our collaborative development. So we understand that how the component works, how the component library works. Now, how as a app owner or the app integrator, how we can plan our Canvas app development. All right. So let's understand with this, the simple figure. Like this is the master app. Okay. So this blue line is basically representing. So this blue line is representing the master app main branch. So the main branch is basically where you are keeping your master app, where you are planning to that you are planning to deploy in your production. All right, so you are not going to customize much the master branch. You are going to import all the external components in that app. So blue line is basically representing the master app branch. The arrow that is coming out of the blue line representing the action of copying the master app. All right, so I will come to that part later, that what is the need to copy the master app. Okay, so all the arrows which is coming out of the blue line is basically representing the copying the master app. So there is a feature in the Canvas app that you can take the copy of your Canvas app, right? You can create the multiple replicas or the copy of your Canvas app. So it's like the same. The third one is the generic components can directly be imported to the master branch. So you can see here there is a the black circle is indicating the generic components, and generic components are directly being imported in the master app. Okay, and the other components like the form control, the gallery control it's not directly being imported in the master branch. You can see here, first they are taking the copy of the master app, they design the control, they test the control, and they then merge the control in their master app. Okay, and same goes with the calorie control. So there are basically three types of controls I talked about. The first one is a generic component, and these are all the shared components. So generic component can directly be merged into the master app, and the shared components can these are the components that required the data to test the app. For example, if I'm designing a form control, so the form control is basically required the data source, all right, to test my app. So if I'm designing component, then I need a data source. So inside the component, I cannot use the data source. So what I will do is I will simply take the copy of my master app. I will simply test my control. And once I'm done with my component development and testing with the component, I will say the master app owner that merge my component inside your master app. All right. So this is a very basic thing. And the fifth thing is that every now and then a component might need to be updated. In that case, another copy of the app can be done. So for example, if the generic component and all the form controllers are merged in the master app, later on you realize that you need to make some changes in the generic components. Okay, so what you will do is you can simply update the component and you will import that changes into the master app. But what happens if you have to change the form control? So the form controls, if you have to change the form control, the first thing is that you already have the copy of your master app available that you have taken before. So you don't need to use that copy because that copy doesn't have the updated generic components available. So you need to make sure that you need to take the another copy of your master app so that you can make sure that all the generic components are available in that, the updated one. All right. Then you take the latest copy of for your master app, then again make the changes, then again merge it to the master app. This process will remain until your app development is done, and then finally you can deploy your changes to the production. All right. So this is the way how you can simply plan your collaborative development, how the multiple developers can simultaneously work on this app. Okay, let's get into the the demonstration part. So in the demonstration parts, I have taken 4 personas. So I will play the role of a master owner. Okay, so I will take care of my master app. Okay, Raz will play a role of component manager. So he will design a header component. Samit will design the message component, and the Victor will design the gallery component. So I am the owner of the app. So I will handle the master app, and I have distributed my app features to 3 app developers, Raz, Samit, and the Victor, and they will independently work on their own component. Once they will done with their component, they will let me know that my component is done. Let's merge this component, import my component in the master app. All right. Okay. So let me go back to my PowerApps screen. Okay. So this is my PowerApps screen, and in this PowerApps screen, first I will tell you that how to design, the component. Then I will let you know that how you can plan your work. Okay. So in order to create a component, you first need to go to the make.powerapps.com, and you have to select the appropriate, the environment where you are creating your app. Now, when you go to the app section, there is an option called components library. So as I already suggested you, the feature is in preview mode. All right. So if I have to create the apps, I need to go here. If I have to create the component library, I need to go here. Okay. Okay. So I have already created 4 components, but just to demonstration purpose, I will create a new component. So let me create a new component library, and let me give it name like alert control. All right. So my purpose is to design a control that can be reused not only in my app, but also it can be reused in the multiple Canvas app available in my organization. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to design. Okay, just let me show that screen page. All right, so I'm going to design this screen. All right, so in order to design this screen, let me go back to my control section. So this is a blank canvas available right now. So if I have to design a screen like this, first I need to have the control that can cover my whole screen and set its background to gray color. All right, so what I will do is I will go to the insert section, go to the icons, and will simply add a rectangle so that it can simply cover my whole screen. So whatever controls I've actually used in the screen, it will simply cover that. So I will simply use that. Let me set its property to full. Okay, so this is the the control I've added to cover my screen, and let me change its background color to gray. Okay, so this part is done. Let me change the component name to alert. Okay, so this is my outer div. So let me call it this outer div. Second component I have to design inside, sorry, not the component. Second control I have to design inside this control is, the white box. Okay, so what I will do is I will again, either I can simply go to the insert section, add a new icon, or I can simply copy it and paste it again. So once I pasted it again, I will get another control, and let me change its name to. All right. And I just want to change its background property to white. Okay, let me drag it to in the center. Okay, so these two controls are done. Now the third thing is that I have to show the icon, the title of the message, and the description of the message. All right, so let me add a new icon, maybe the checkbox icon here. Okay, need to add the label so that I can display the title of the message. So let me set its background property to center. Okay, so this is the label called title. Another label I'm adding by copy pasting the same control. Let me drag it to down and just give the name. All right, so this icon will be my message icon. So make sure that you are giving the proper naming convention of all the controls that you are adding inside your component or the screen, whatever. All right, so these all the screens are done. Now the last part is that I actually added an option called home screen. So once so if I able to see the success screen or the the alert screen, I just want to have the option to close this the component, to close this dialog box, to close this screen, or I want to redirect user back to the login screen or the home screen. So for that purpose, I can simply insert a new icon, and maybe I can give the home icon instead of giving the close icon. So what I want is when the user will click on this home icon, they will be redirected to the home screen. All right. So my component has been designed. All right. So let me give to the. Okay. All right, so my screen has been designed, but the one thing you have noticed here is I have used some hard-coded component or the static components here. What are the static components? The static components is like in the text property. If I go to the text property, the current the label set of this text property is basically the text. But I want that the user can send this value dynamically, because that message title could be the success, could be failure, could be the alert. Same goes with the description. The description can be dynamic, right? So someone can show the record has been saved, someone can show the record has been updated, and someone can show the record has been deleted, right? So I want to create these the label message dynamically. The second part is like this icon. So for example, currently this icon is a checkbox, right? So I have added this icon as a checkbox, but there might be the possibility that someone wants to show the cross icon or maybe the alert icon. So as per their demand, because I am creating it as a reusable components, I cannot use any component as a static component here. Okay, I just wanted to make this component dynamic. or all the properties dynamic so that it can be reused in the multiple canvas app. Same goes with this icon. Someone wants to redirect this to the different screen. For example, my home screen name is home screen 1. Some other canvas have a home screen is home screen 2. So there will be multiple screen names for that. So I cannot also use this icon redirection logic to a particular screen. All right. To do that, how can I make this property dynamic? I have an option called custom properties. All right. So my component has been designed. Now in the custom component, in order to pass the dynamic property, I have the new custom property available. So what is property? So for example, if I take the example of this icon, okay. So this icon has some inbuilt properties available. So these are all the properties of the out of box icon. So in the same way, if I want to create the properties for my component, I can do that. So if I click on the new custom property, there are different types available for my property. So I can create the property for the text, for the number, for the boolean, date and time, screen, record, table, image, video, color, and the currency. So these are the data type that Microsoft has currently provided for you. So for example, if you are using any of these controls on your component, you can make the property of it. All right. You can create the property type as an input and the output as well. So you can expect some kind of properties. So I'm going to use the input property for this demonstration because you are expecting any sort of the input from the app owner or the canvas app owner, and I will set that property inside my components so that I can create my component dynamically. So the first property I just want to create for the title message. Okay, so what I'm going to do is alert title. So I'm going to create a property called alert, and I am expecting the value as a text because this control is expecting the text value. So I'll keep it as a text. This is required because it will automatically reset your value when you are leaving your screen. So let me create this. So one property is created. I'll add another property called alert description. All right. Okay. And again, I'll keep it as an input and as a text type, and we'll create it. So my two properties has been dynamically defined. Now icon I cannot change it directly right now. So what I will do is I will create a new property called result, and based on the result I can simply change the icon as well. So I'm again taking as a text, and and for the icon this as well. So what I want to do is if I click on this home icon, I just want to redirect user to a particular screen, right? So you know the function called navigate. So inside the navigate you need to define the screen name. You need to pass the target screen name so that you can redirect the user to a particular screen. But if you are using this component in multiple canvas app, that canvas app has a different redirection logic. So what I will do is I will again go to the alert section, create a new custom property, and in this custom property I am just using a property called redirect to. Okay, and in this redirected to, I am going to take the input parameter, but now I am not going to take the type is text. I'm expecting a screen value. So I expect that user need to pass the screen name, and based on this custom control will redirect the user to that particular screen. All right. So these four properties I have created. Now the another type of custom properties like that. So for example, on the outer div, I have set the hard coded color to this color. Okay, but there might be the situation that you are following your UI guidelines and all. Your client has his own the UI guidelines as per their organization the requirements. So what you want to do is you want to make this background color also reusable or the configurable. So again, you can simply create a new property, and I'm just giving this name outer div. Okay. Now I will take as input, and the property will be type color. Okay, so I'm expecting the color value here, and same the property I'm creating for the inner div, color input, and again taking it as a color. All right, so I have created 6 custom property for my component, and all the custom properties are being used to make this component dynamic. All right, so let me save this component, alert control. All right, so my component has been saved. Now, how can I test this control? So once you create the component in the screen section, there is a sample screen is available for you. So when you go to design your component, you get the sample screen that you cannot delete that. Okay, so this screen is provided by Microsoft just to quickly test your component in the screen, because going forward what you can do is what you are going to do is you going to use this component in the another PowerApps. So for example, this is my Canvas app I have created. This is my master Canvas app. So okay, so this is my master Canvas app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this control inside my Canvas app. But before going to merge this component in my Canvas app, I can straight away test my app inside this screen. Okay, so if I have to test this component inside my screen, okay, so before testing this, I have to set the properties as well. So right now I have only created the properties, but I have not set this property to the individual controls. So for example, this is the title control. Okay, in the title control, the text property is right now set to text, but I will remove this. I will simply use my control name and set its property title. All right, so what is the expression means is, this expression means is whatever user is whatever user is passing the values in the alert title property, I will directly set it to the text property. All right, the same goes with the description. I will remove this, use my component name, set its. Okay, same goes with this icon. Now on select of this icon, I just want to use the navigate function. So I will use the navigate function, but now it's expecting the target value, but this target can be dynamic, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my control name and will use the redirect to property. So whatever the screen name I'm passing in the redirect to property, it will directly set its value inside this. All right, same goes with the background color. So in the outer div, I will go to the fill property. Okay, in the fill property, I'm going to set alert dot outer div bg color. Same goes with the inner div. I'm going to use dot. So now you can see my whole component has been converted into the black color because the property is not being set right now. So let me save this again. Now, so my component is ready. Let me publish this. Okay, now go back to the screen section. Now, if I have to add this component inside my screen, I will simply go to the plus icon, and inside the under the custom tab, there is an option called alert. Okay, so my component is started visible here. So I will simply click here. So you can see here the component is available right now, but I cannot change anything inside the component. If I double click it, I cannot change the icon. I cannot change the this home icon. I cannot change the text property. It's disabled right now. I can only drag and drop. Okay, I can only change its value using its property. So if I go to the screen, okay, let me go to the screen. So in the screen, this is my control which has been added. Now inside this screen, if I go to the the properties, all my property that I have created is available here. The result, redirect to, outer DBG color, inner DBG color, alert title in the description. So all you need to do is you need to set the properties here, and it will automatically reflect here. So let me go to the alert title, and the alert title I can simply pass like success. I will go to the description. I will pass the value. Just I'm giving the random values. Go to the outer BG color, and I just want to set its color to the gray color. So how can I get the gray color, because it's expecting the RGB value. So let me go to here, the fill property. Okay, let me change it. manually to gray color. Okay, let me copy this background value, DG color, and we'll set it. Okay, so this is set to gray color. Same goes with the the inner div property. Let me go to the inner div. I'll simply change its value to white. Now you can see here. Now the last property is this icon property. So let me go to the redirect to where it went. Okay, so this is my component. Let me go to the redirect to property. Now here in the redirect property is expecting a screen name. So I will simply let's say I am creating a new screen called form. Okay, and I'm just giving this name to home. All right, so just for the testing purpose. Now in this alert control, I will simply pass the name of the screen so that I can simply direct this user to this home screen. So I just pass the name of the screen. All right, now if I test this component, if I click on the home icon, it will taking me to this the form page. All right, so this is how the custom components can be designed. All right, now so right now it's actually coming in the center of the screen. If I want to set it heights to cover the complete screen, what I can do is I will go to the component. Okay, and if I go to the outer div, in the outer div there is a property called height. Okay, because the width is perfectly fine, but height it's not covering the whole screen. So I will set the property of the height is app like active screen dot height. So that means whatever active screen that is showing that components, it actually take the height of that particular app screen. Once I am done with that, save this component, go back to my screen. Now if I check this, okay, let me go back to screen. Outer div, let me change. So if I go to the control, go to the height property and set the same property to this as well. Save it. Go back to the screen, and now you can see that it's covering the whole screen now. Okay, so now I can simply go here and click on inner div and drag it to in the center just to adjust this. Let me set this background just to okay. Let me go here. Title and the description. All right, so you need to adjust it according to your the UI design. Okay, so I have just added this. Now let me remove this background like this. Now immediately the component changes will reflect onto the screen. So now you can see here everything is there. Now so this my testing is done. I have covered everything in the components. Now if I want to use this component in a particular Canvas app, how can I do that? So I will first publish this component. So once I publish this component, it will be available in the component library section. So inside the component library, you can see there is alert control available. Now if I want to use this alert control inside my Canvas app, okay, so you can see here, let me close this app first. So let me open my Power Guide. Okay, so this is the app that I have created. So I'm opening the Canvas app and will import this component inside my app. So this can be done only by the app owner. So you have to set the permission like that the master app can be handled by only the the app owner, because the component developer will be the different and the app owner will be the different. So that should be the best practices you have to follow. All right, so this is my Power App. Okay, now if I have to import that component inside my app, so what I will do is I will first add a screen just to demonstration purpose. So I will just give the name. Now in the test alert control, what I'm going to do is if I have to import that component, I will click plus icon, and inside the plus icon, if I expand the library components, the components they have already shown you here is available right now. Okay, So these are the components that I have already imported in my Canvas app. So I have created a new control component called alert control. So I will click here the get more components. So if I click on the get more component, you can see there is a new control called alert control is available. Okay. So this alert control, I need to select this and just simply click on import. So I am the app owner, that's why I'm able to do that. Okay, so once I do that, the alert control is available in my app. Okay, if I want to use that component inside my screen, I will go to my app screen. Okay, and inside that simply click on plus icon and add this alert control. So now you can see the alert control is directly available here. So in the same way, you can add this control on the multiple screens. Okay, what is the advantage of using that? So now you can set the properties like I've already told you. You can set the title and you can set the description, and the screen will be available in your app. Okay, so without any manual efforts and all, so without any additional effort, I would say. So for example, if I take the example of home screen, so this is the home screen I have designed. In the similar way, if I run this app, if you can see here in this home screen, there is a header and there is a footer, and you can imagine that there are a lot of controls are there on the footer, and there are a lot of controls on the header. And if I have to use the same header and the footer on the multiple screen, and if I'm designing a very large app like 25 20, 30 screens are there, so you can imagine I have to add all the components again, and all these controls again and again on all the apps. But if I have created the components, I can simply, import that component on multiple apps without creating their own. Okay. All right. So this is about the components. Now, if I talk about how to plan the development, so that is what we're talking about, right? So here, okay. So one more thing I just wanted to demonstrate. So this alert control development is done. Now, if I want to change anything in the component, so for example, I got some input from my customer that they want to change this home icon to the button, and they don't want to use the home icon. So I will simply go to my components, and anything I just wanted to change the component. So for example, maybe if I go to the home icon, I just want to remove this. Okay, and instead of that, I just want to insert a button. Okay. Okay, let me show the inner div first because it's not visible right now. So let me change its red border. So this is my client input. Like I don't want to do that. I just want to use the button over here. So let me design a button. Okay. So my intention is, just to show you if I am making any changes in my control or the component, how the app owner will get to know about that. Okay. So I'm just changing its text to close. Okay. Saving the component, publishing it. All right, so my control is publish is done. Now let me open the Power Guide app again. So this is my master app. So I'm again opening this app. All right, so my app, the master app has been opened. All right. So let me go to the plus icon. So my alert control is not there because I haven't published the control. So let me add it again, import it again. Okay, and save and publish this app, because last time I actually imported the component, but I have not published my the master app, so that's why it got removed. Okay, so let me close it again and open it again. So when the master app owner will open the Canvas app again, he should expect the notification that the someone has made the changes in the alert control. Do you want to merge the updated changes or not? Okay, so let's wait for that. Okay, so my app has been loaded. I should get the alert. Maybe just let me add it to the screen first. Okay, let me add here. Alert control, let me go here, library. All right. Go back to this screen. Okay, so I'm expecting this kind of alert message. It should supposed to show this message to you that I have shown here. Okay, go back to my this screen, not this screen. Okay, so I should expect this kind of message. Somehow it's not being appeared. I don't know what mistake I'm doing right now. So I will get this kind of alert message that component library updates is available. You will get to know, when you click on the review, you will get the notification component library changes has been made. Do you want to update that? Okay, so once you click on update, the updated changes will be merged to your app. Let me check it again. I have the time, so let me check it again. So okay, go back here. It's already done. Let me close this. Power guide. Republish it again. Okay, I'm closing this. I'm refreshing this. Let me try to open it again. All right, somehow it's not showing the the notification. I don't know why, but you should expect this notification, and once the app owner will get this notification, you can simply merge the changes in that. All right. So this is all about the components. Now, if I want to show you that how you can plan your development. So if you can see here, I have created a master app. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about this. So if you can see here, I have demonstrated this part to you that I have a master app. So this is the master app I have created, and there are some generic components and there are some shared components. So if I go to the component library, there are some generic components, for example, the header and the footer, the gallery. So these are the generic component because these are only I have created for this particular app only. Okay, but there are few components, for example, the loader control, the display message or the alert control. These controls can not only be used in the Power Guide, or it can be used in the other Canvas app as well, right? So if I have to import, the gallery control or the header control, I can directly import the, I can directly say it to the app owner and they can simply import this into the app. They don't need to provide the copy of your app. Okay. But if I have to test a control like, the gallery control, especially, so gallery control expecting the data source, right? If you have to test the gallery control, you need to have the data source available. So if I'm creating a gallery control, I need to have the data source, and the data source is available in my main app. So how can I test this component? So I cannot directly, import that component into my master app because it is recommended that app owner should not allow that these kind of component without testing you can import directly in the master app. Okay. So what I will do is I will simply create a copy of this app. So you can simply go save as, and you can create a copy of this particular app. So maybe whatever copy you want to create this and save this. Okay, so once you create a copy of it, the component owner will simply import these components. So the gallery component, he will simply import that component in the copy of the app. Okay, once he will simply test the app, they can simply use the data source feature of it, data feature of it. Once they are done with their testing, then the app owner will simply import that component in the master app. Okay, now what about the updated changes? So for example, if I made some changes in the in the alert control, in the header and footer, so I can simply import that changes in my Power Guide. Okay, so the one who is working in the gallery control will not have the updated changes whatever I have merged in the master app, right? So every time the control owner need to make sure that whenever they are merging their changes in the master app, or they want to change any control, they simply take the latest copy of your master app, then start doing development and testing of that. All right. So this is the best practices you have to follow from the the collaborative development perspective. So thanks a lot. That's it from me. And if you have any question, just you can ask me. Thanks a lot.
Hello, everyone.